This would be a good setup for videos.
It would be.
It would be.
It would be great.
I do have a correction.
All right, correct us.
In the Somerton Man episodes, the girlfriend that we thought the Somerton Man might have been the dad of the kid,
Yes.
I kept saying Thompson. No P. Thompson.
I'm pretty sure you did actually say that in the episode.
I did,
once
and
as
then
well.
I just kept calling them Thompson. And then I
Clever.
just kept going with it. Oh, and then we did record for an upcoming, when we set up our Patreon, all about TikTokers. But I don't think we can post it because we did one. We kind of did a run through of all the shit that Gypsy Rose has done lately.
Yes.
But by the time it goes out, like since recording and now, she's just done so much more shit. And I'm like,
Well, let's just can that episode and
Yeah.
just wait and do a Gypsy Rose at a later date.
I just, like, everyone probably knows the case of what happened. But since her coming out and she's been really under the microscope of TikTok, I'm like, I don't believe you. Like, I don't know. Like, you just question the
You
whole story now of like, poor her, she was a victim, blah, blah, blah. And then like, I don't know, people are deep diving, researching now. And it's like, it's questionable to me anyway. I'm like looking at it like, did that all actually really happen?
Mm.
So that's that one. And then in the Ed Gein episode, there was, I didn't realize how much I was coughing and sniffing. And I tried to get them all out. There is some in there. But that night, I remember when you left, I was like, fuck, I got a bit of a headache. And I'm like, oh, it's probably from recording. We recorded like 4 episodes. And I was like, oh, it's probably from that. And then I had a migraine. And then that night, I ended up with my fever. And it was like 40 degrees. And then I was sick. But
Yeah.
we are here. We're not dead.
No.
Thought I was dying because it was the 3rd time I've been sick.
And I think currently neither of us are sick.
We are not dying. I think it's the weather as well.
It is getting much warmer. I'm loving it.
It is nice.
The sun's out.
The sun's out, the sky is shining, the tank is clean.
We are getting out of here.
The tank is clean.
The tank is clean.
Watching
Nemo.
something last night? No. On the weekend we watched the Simpsons movie with the kids.
I rewatched the Simpsons movie the other day after we were talking about it. I came home and I was like, I'm sick of watching the Wiggles. I'm going to put something on that I want to watch. I put on the Simpsons movie.
Well, we watched it with the kids and then like I forgot like
I watched it by
dicks in
myself.
it. And then I was like, oh.
Don't look where I'm pointing. I like men now.
And every time there was a part coming up, me and Jay were just like looking at each other because like the kids were in between us. And we just looked at each other, explaining the Oh, but great movie. But yeah, I was trying to pick the voice of the guy that comes up on the screen, like the EPA guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, his voice sounds so familiar. And it's Merlin from Nemo.
Yeah.
I was like, oh. I do that with
Marlin.
everything. I'm like, who the fuck is that? And it just annoys me.
It's okay. You can walk. You don't.
It's like when Jay's around the house, he's just like, can I
Beck's just wandering around like, can I come into the out now?
can I come to? Oh.
Well, today's going to be a little bit different.
Yes. Oh. The only thing I can't hear is when they... That's okay, we edit.
P-Dog's doing the talking today.
P-Dog's got the case.
P-Dog has
P-Dog is on the case.
finally finished one script.
One script. It's been a week for script writing.
Well, for me, it's been months of writing one script, and it's probably going to suck, but I've done it anyway, so we're all good.
And I don't know what the case is.
And we are doing the case of Jessica Camilleri.
I don't know who that is.
It's our private inspector.
She was.
Oh, no. Rebecca. Let's cut that all out.
Oh, like she was a private inspector who fucking got murdered or murdered someone?
No. Jessica Camilleri.
So she wasn't a private inspector.
She was not a private inspector. No. Okay. Well, you know what? If you shut up and listen, I'll tell you who she is. Because she's not our private inspector.
That name? No, Camilleri just sounds weird because I went to school with a few Camilleris.
Well, it is an Australian case. We are in New South Wales
Oh.
today. New South Wales.
New South Wales. Sydney.
Jessica Camilleri was born the 12th of October 1993 in St Clair, New South Wales, to Maltese Australian parents Vince and Rita Camilleri.
Oh, God, that's
Very
Maltese
very
names.
Maltese
Yeah.
names. Yep.
I've had 2 Maltese exes.
She also had one older sister. Shit, I did have her sister's name somewhere, but I haven't written it at the very fucking start. I think it's Christy.
We'll go with Christy until we learn otherwise.
I can't be bothered scrolling that far to work it out, so we'll just give it a go for now. Jessica reportedly had many struggles growing up, starting with noticeable developmental delays from a very early age.
Oh.
Throughout her life, Jessica's mother took her to see multiple specialists in search for answers and help with Jessica's very challenging behaviours. Over the years, Jessica has at some point or another been diagnosed with multiple conditions or disorders. As a child, Jessica was diagnosed with a mild intellectual disability, low IQ, ADHD, developmental delay, attachment disorder, impulsivity, anger management issues, and was treated for depression, anxiety, and violent behaviour.
At how old?
Just throughout her life
Oh.
in general.
Jesus, I thought you were saying like as a kid, they're just like bum, 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 bum.
Well, as a child, she had the like very young child. They diagnosed with the intellectual disability, ADHD, and developmental delay. But then throughout life, that's what she was diagnosed with. And as an adult, she was diagnosed by multiple different medical practitioners with a wide variety of conditions as well.
Oh, Jesus.
Such as mood instability, ADHD, intellectual disability, low IQ, OCD, poor anger control, impulsive behavior, anxiety, panic disorder, intermittent explosive disorder, bipolar type 2, bronchial asthma, and type 2 diabetes.
Jesus, this poor girl.
Poor
girl, she gave me the murder. I'm like, oh, this poor girl.
Over the years, she has been prescribed numerous mood stabilizing antidepressants and antipsychotic medications.
Well, they are antidepressants.
Yeah.
I've been starting to have mine in the morning and I feel really good.
Yeah, I take mine every morning.
We actually went out on the weekend instead of just like bed rotting.
That's good.
It was great. I'm like, let's go. And then
I always take mine in the morning.
Well, because they made me feel like just bleh. Like I didn't want to do anything. And then I take them at night and I can't sleep.
Yeah, well, I can't sleep if I take them at night because my brain's like pinging.
But I have them next to my bed. So I don't forget until I don't remember until I'm in bed. But I put them in the microwave now.
Oh, okay.
So I remember to take them.
I put them next to the sink in the bathroom.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So when I get up in the morning and I walk into the bathroom because it's the first place I go, I'm just like, fuck, got to take those.
That's a good idea.
My anti-yeet pills.
Antidepressants.
My antidepressants.
We'll put that on a mug.
Yeah.
Take your it could be like like your mug you put in the bathroom.
Yes.
Take your antidepressants.
I'm going to take it to work.
Mine's on my phone. That gives me an alert saying, take the pill, take your vitamins, take your antidepressants.
That's what they're called from now on. Antidepressants. I've
like,
decided.
What?
In primary school, Jessica was placed in the special learning classes. She found it difficult to make and maintain friendships or even just get along with other children.
Oh, yeah. If she's having like outbursts.
Yeah. Her family have said that she was often bullied for being in the special class and for, quote, being weird.
Kids are assholes.
Fuck kids. I mean, don't. Don't actually fuck kids.
Don't actually fuck kids. But you have that one kid in school that everyone had. We used to have one that ran with scissors all the time through everyone's classroom. And through a computer.
You don't run with scissors.
No, well, he did. And, oh no, we had 2 actually. One would run with scissors through classrooms, and then one we just got the interactive whiteboards.
Yes.
And the computers next to them.
God, I remember those. It was so good when you were like selected to get to touch the interactive whiteboard. Did you have the ones where they had like those special pens that didn't have any ink, but like when you wrote on the interactive whiteboard, it wrote?
Yeah, and that's a collaborate it and do the corners. And then you go one teacher that wrote on it with a fucking marker.
Yeah, dumbass.
You
always had that.
And they had the computers next to it. One kid lost his shit in class and ripped the computer out and fucking yeeted it. Yeet.
Wow.
Didn't.
Jessica often got in physical fights and lashed out at other students, particularly female students. She would often resort to hair pulling and biting.
Oh.
Rita, her mother, was very protective of Jessica and had tried numerous different options for treatment to help Jessica. Following an assessment that resulted in her diagnosis of intellectual disability, it was reported that she had an IQ of somewhere between 50 to 60.
Oh, wow.
And just for some context, in Australia, the reported average IQ of a female is around 100.
Wow. So like Martin Bryan level.
So she's like half the mental capacity of you and I feel like my mental capacity is already not great.
Nah.
Like those two brain cells, they're pinging around inside my brain.
Me,
she only had one.
Me, Jay, Logan, and Ziggy, we all just swap the brain cell every day.
Yeah. It's just shared.
We should get
everyone.
more. We need more brain cells in our house.
I don't know how you get more.
I don't know either.
Email us if you do.
Email us your brain cells, please.
Yeah, please share. Maybe we'd become organised detectives.
Well, we didn't even do an intro.
Shit. So we're disorganised detectives.
Just 10 minutes in. Oh, wow.
YOLO. I haven't said that in so long. That
YOLO.
felt weird. By year 9, Jessica's behaviour was increasingly more aggressive, and she was suspended from school for assaulting a male student by biting him and attacking his girlfriend in, quote, a fit of jealous rage.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I still don't know what way this is going to go.
In year 10, Jessica was ultimately expelled from school following another assault on a fellow female student. In 2010, after being expelled from school, Jessica was engaged in a program called the Novo Transition to Work program, which is a registered National Disability Insurance Scheme, so NDIS program.
Whoop, whoop.
And
I used to work for them. Not in disability. Whoop, whoop.
Side note for people who are not in Australia or may not know, NDIS is a government-funded initiative that provides funding to eligible people with a disability for a range of supports and services that enable people living with a disability to have access to skills, jobs, physical support, physical aids, etc. to improve their quality of life. Services can include, but not limited to, education, employment, social participation, independence, living arrangements, health and well-being.
Or if you're a participant that we had and knows how to rot the system, you get your hairdresser, lashes and eyebrows funded.
Yeah, I wish.
But someone who has cerebral palsy that we know and has been trying for, I think, a couple of years to get on NDIS.
Yeah.
Because he could write very well in emails. They questioned it.
Yeah, the system's screwed.
It's ridiculous.
Like, I've got some people on my caseload at work that should be on NDIS for very obvious reasons that keep getting declined because they can't provide like the proof that they need. And then we've got some that have just found the right doctor to write a bunch of bullshit and get a fuck ton of funding that they don't need.
Yeah. It should work when you explain what is it? The description of it. But I mean that's the description that's taken directly from the NDIS website. Yeah. So, you know, in theory that's what they're supposed to be doing. And the Novo Transition to Work program that Jessica was involved in is aimed at young people living with a disability who have employment-related goals. The program helps those living with a disability to gain skills that employers are looking for in potential employees, such as creating a resume, having practical experience in the working environment, learning to confidently navigate public transport, learning to work well as a team with others, and lots of other skills needed to join the workforce. So again, in theory, a fantastic program. Be good,
for young people. I mean, Jessica was expelled from school, so
she needs to.
Her option is to get a job to keep herself busy. Yeah. So, in theory, really good program.
Should be great.
However,
shouldn't lead to anything bad.
After being involved in several violent altercations with other participants, often the police being called.
Oh my God, Jessica.
Jessica was made to leave the program without completing it. When Jessica was 12, her parents, Vince and Rita, separated.
Oh, shit.
And through her early teen years, Jessica moved in with her dad for a little while.
Oh.
They often argued, and following a significant argument with him, she was then sent to live with her grandmother.
Oh, so not mum at all?
This arrangement also came to an abrupt end after Jessica assaulted her auntie, who also lived at the home, grabbing her aunt by the hair, dragging her down a set of concrete steps.
Jesus Christ.
She then moved back in with her mother, Rita.
Poor Rita wasn't the first choice.
Rita was incredibly supportive of her daughter, and she did everything she could to support Jessica in every aspect of her life, ensuring that although Jessica was occasionally hospitalized for acute treatment, she never let anyone send her to an institution or public facility. They were trying to get her placed in a facility for persons with learning or developmental disorders or psychiatric illnesses, but it never eventuated. She was at home with Jessica with Rita at all times. It's
funny how she didn't pick the mum first when the mum seems to be looking after her, like in her corner the most.
Yeah, I see that often though. It's like the one person that's really trying the most is the person that they
go away from,
push away from the most, because they're, her mum's trying to help her, but probably not in the way that Jessica wanted. In June 2018, Jessica's behaviour was becoming increasingly challenging, and she was reviewed by yet another psychiatrist, Dr. Chowdhury. Dr. Chowdhury at this time diagnosed Jessica with, quote, an intellectual disability, poor anger control, impulsive behaviour, OCD, and high anxiety levels.
Jesus.
Jessica was prescribed several antidepressants and Valium.
Dipressants.
Rita was increasingly vocal at this time about her concerns that the medications were not effective in managing Jessica's symptoms. In November 2018, Jessica was briefly hospitalised at the Nepean Hospital for psychiatric treatment following an assault on a member of the public.
Oh my God,
and
Jessica.
Was prescribed a number of antipsychotic medications, antidepressants, and mood stabilizers. However, Jessica hated taking them.
Oh no.
When she was discharged from hospital, Jessica stopped taking all her medications and started seeing a naturopath, taking only herbal medications and receiving hypnotherapy.
Mm-hmm.
She was reviewed by the Nepean Blue Mountains District Mental Health Service due to escalating behaviours. Now, this one kind of makes me giggle. So her biggest problematic behaviour that she had was she would constantly call random phone numbers and just start harassing the people that were on the phone.
Oh no.
Although in her review of the mental health service, they found that she did not have any formal thought disorders, hallucinations, or delusions. And at this time, so in 2018...
Oh, shit.
was
recent.
diagnosed for the first time with autism spectrum disorder. So we've had
everything else.
A mirage of disabilities. But she's in 2018, November of 2018, she was diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder.
Oh, my dad died in October 2018.
Oh no. Rip. Too many coincidences. By January 2019, Jessica's daily life included sitting on her mother's couch watching TV and movies, mostly horror films.
Oh, dear God.
Jessica was obsessed with watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Jeepers Creepers. And her sister, Christy,
there we go.
I was right, has said that she sometimes watched the films upwards of 4 times a day.
Oh my God.
Christy would often hide the DVD so Jessica couldn't watch them. But after Jessica had full-blown meltdowns after not being able to find the film, Rita would just give in and give it back to keep the peace.
Is Texas Chainsaw Massacre the one Ed Gein's based off of?
I think so. Yeah. Well, loosely based off of.
It all connects.
So her habit of... So she had a fascination with numbers, and her habit of using
autism.
her phone to dial a series of random numbers and
Oh,
speaking with
no.
whoever answered was escalating around this time. And if she liked the sound of the voice of the person who answered, particularly if they were a male, she would harass the stranger, calling and texting their number multiple times, often ending in threatening to assault and kill the person on the other end of the phone when they became frustrated with her ongoing harassment.
Oh my God. I thought you were going to say something else.
In October 2015, Jessica was reported to police by Natalie Naylor for a campaign of harassment where Natalie received over 20 phone calls and 22 messages from Jessica. Some of these messages included threats to kill Natalie and her husband, including, in part, quote, "I will come over your door with a knife in my hand and slit your throat. I will come over your house with a knife in my hand and I will shred your head off your neck and you will have no head left. I will fucking ram that knife right through your neck and cut off your whole head."
Oh.
Yep.
That's a lot. That's the kind of voicemail you want. Better than please call the debt collection.
Yeah. Another victim of Jessica's unwanted phone calls was Matthew Layfield. He received upwards of 100 phone calls a day spanning a 12-month period.
Oh my God.
And Jessica discovered that the mobile number was linked to his business.
Oh,
She began contacting his work mobile and colleagues, often ending these calls with threats to stab and cut off their heads with a knife.
Oh. She maybe needed a hobby or something.
Other than watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre and
Yeah.
Jeepers Creepers.
Could they not have taken a phone off her?
Well,
Oh, okay.
Gabe listening.
Shut up.
In July 2019, Jessica Camilleri was 25 years old, living alone with her mother after her older sister had married and moved away.
Oh, no.
On the 20th of July, which is the day of the incident that we're about to discuss,
Wow, she's on this podcast.
Jessica's 4-year-old relative who cannot be identified and has only been referred to as Child A
Oh, no.
was staying with Rita and Jessica at the time.
Oh, no.
In the lead up to the main event that has brought Jessica to our podcast, there are a few things that happened which caused some tension to build between Jessica and her mother, Rita.
A massive fucking phone bill.
Well, Rita had taken Jessica to the local police station after she was caught making more menacing and harassing phone calls to strangers.
Oh.
Jessica had been dialing the number of a man upwards of 30 times in the early hours of the morning, which ended with her telling the man she hoped he'd get cancer and die.
Jessica.
Yeah.
It's me, Jessica.
The police cautioned Jessica on making these phone calls, and the women just returned home. A neighbour has later recalled seeing Jessica yelling at her mother on multiple occasions the morning of the incident, as she was upset at the fact that Child A was at their home. Jessica was said to be extremely jealous of Child A, often calling him a little bastard. On this particular day, telling her mother, "You have the little bastard too often." Jessica acted out whenever Child A stayed with them. She was unhappy with having to share her mother's attention with the 4-year-old.
Oh, that's probably like the autism as well.
Yeah.
Like change. Who's Child A? Is it a nephew?
I from trying to piece things together, I believe it's a nephew.
Well, you just said the sister got married.
Yeah,
So-
I would say it's the nephew, but
Yeah. Could be
obviously
another
there's
family member.
protection
Yeah.
against their identity, so it's he's just referred to as Child A, and he's 4. And
Oh, no.
that's all. I know it's a male child, and he's 4 years old, and he's a relative of some sort, and he stays with them
Jesus
often.
Christ.
So I would assume it's Rita's grandson
Yeah.
and Jessica's nephew.
You'd think, being,
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe
But
Anyway.
it could be anyone really.
It's going to hurt my heart. I have a fucking 4-year-old stepson.
Later in the day, Rita went to that neighbour's house to assist them as the neighbour had reported experiencing chest pains.
Oh,
Rita
no, and she
drove
left
the
the
neighbour to
4-year-old.
a local doctor's surgery. Child A and Jessica came along with them.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say they were left in the house. I'm like, oh.
No. The neighbour saw Jessica yelling and throwing her arms about, visibly angry about a man in the street that she didn't like looking at her.
Oh, dear God.
and was also swearing, screaming, and berating her mother for always embarrassing her in public.
Pot, kettle.
By that evening, Jessica had been complaining of severe stomach pain. And as it was after hours, Rita called for the home doctor service to come see her. Dr. Eliza Azam arrived at 9:25 p.m. Jessica was on the phone ordering fast food to be delivered and refused to get off the phone to be checked by the doctor.
Oh.
After waiting for 10 minutes, Jessica still refused to be seen by Dr. Azam. Dr. Azam was unable to assess Jessica, but said she didn't note her behaviour as consistent with someone who was having severe stomach pain, and so the doctor left.
Oh, yep.
The next person to arrive at the house was a police officer around 11:40 p.m. following a number of calls to 000.
Oh, God.
By this time, Jessica was wandering outside the home covered in blood.
Oh.
Child A was inside with a cut to his face and in shock. And Rita was dead.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I feel
So that's where it's going.
Yeah.
And
So child A wasn't dead?
no.
Okay. Oh.
What happened in that house is not for the faint-hearted. So if you don't want to hear some nasty stuff, just maybe go find a different podcast or something.
Okay, goodbye.
At around 10 p.m, Rita spoke over the phone with her eldest daughter, Christy, and had mentioned that she was worried about Jessica's behaviour, that she was going to call an ambulance to have her taken to hospital. Jessica became incredibly agitated as she didn't want to go to hospital over fear of being institutionalized for her mental health and complicated behaviours. In the past, she has told people that she would rather kill someone than go back to a psychiatric ward in hospital.
Oh, no.
When Rita
Wow.
tried to call the ambulance, Rita tried to hold her mother back and they ended up in a tug-of-war over the phone. Jessica was able to get the phone out of her mother's hand. Rita then went into Jessica's bedroom to grab Jessica's mobile phone to call for an ambulance. Jessica chased after her mother and a struggle ensued in the bedroom. Jessica knocked her mother to the floor, gaining control of the second mobile phone and then dragging her mother from the bedroom to the kitchen by her hair.
Oh, God.
Once in the kitchen, Jessica grabbed a knife and whilst holding her mother down, began stabbing her.
Oh.
Rita was stabbed upwards of 100 times in the head and neck. There were stab wounds to Rita's right eye, which entered her brain. The tip of her nose had been cut off. Her tongue had been cut off with multiple overlapping slash and stab wounds, as well as wounds to Rita's abdomen. She was ultimately decapitated at her C2 vertebrae as a result from the frenzied attack. It was clear that Rita had attempted to defend herself against the attacks from her daughter, as she had an additional 33 stab wounds to her right hand and at least 62 to her left hand, as well as multiple bruises and abrasions to both arms.
Jesus Christ. The eyeball.
The evidence showed there was at least 7 different knives being used during the attack.
God.
4 of those knives broke from the sheer force of Jessica stabbing her mother.
Jesus Christ. Jessica, calm down.
At some point during the attack, child A was woken by the commotion and came into the kitchen,
Oh, no.
where he jumped on Jessica's back in an attempt to stop the attack
Oh.
on Rita. Jessica struck the child in the face, pushing child A off her, and as a result, child A required stitches to a cut on his cheek and sutures to a head wound.
Oh,
The
at least
child
that's all
then
he
ran.
had.
The child then ran to the lounge room to hide and subsequently threw up multiple times,
Oh,
clearly physically ill from the trauma he had to witness.
yeah.
An autopsy has also showed evidence that Rita was alive for most of the attack
Oh, God.
until she was struck in the jugular vein, dying shortly after.
God. I just, What else is there to say? Fucking hell.
Both of Rita's eyeballs had been removed from the eye sockets, and post-mortem stab wounds were noted going through the eye sockets.
I can't do eyeballs.
Mm.
Wait, did she remove them, or she was just like frenzied stabbing her?
She took them out. She removed the eyeballs.
Oh my God, Jessica. Fucking.
Which gives Jeepers Creepers vibes.
Oh, I've never seen that.
Mm.
Fucking hell. That's eyeball.
After the attack was over, Jessica picked up her mother's head and walked out into the street. She walked back and forth up the road out the front of her house. Evidence has shown that she dropped her mother's head along the way several times and picked it up again before dropping it a final time down the street, where it stayed until it was discovered by police in the early morning hours.
So she's just walking up and down her street with a head.
Yep. Jessica then called emergency services and
with
said,
no eyeballs.
Yeah,
oh my
no
God.
eyeballs. An eyeball-less
Oh my
head.
God. It's missing a nose and a tongue and eyeballs. And
Yep. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Jessica called emergency services and said, quote, "Mum grabbed me by the hair and dragged me from my room all the way to the kitchen. She got a knife from the cupboard and tried to stab me with it because I think she's had enough. She was pulling me by my hair. She ripped out all my hair. There's hair everywhere. And she stabbed me and broke my finger."
Did she have any stab wounds?
It's important to note that when emergency services arrived, Jessica had no notable injuries.
What a surprise. Oh my God.
She later admitted to forensic psychiatrist Professor Davis Greenberg, or possibly David, and I've just misspelt it, that she did not act in self-defense. She described what she did as hacking like a butcher.
Okay, Catherine Knight, settle down.
Continuing to stab her mother and twist her head until she managed to remove the head from her mother's body.
Oh my God, that's what Ed Gein did.
Mm.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
During sentencing, the presiding judge is quoted as saying, "Mrs. Camilleri was conscious and trying to defend herself for long enough to sustain over 90 defensive injuries and a knife wound to the vein in her neck. She must have been in extreme pain and both shocked and terrified at what was being done to her by her own beloved child."
Yeah, that she fucking stood up for and shit and didn't want it. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And she lost her eyeballs because of it. Moral story, don't help anyone.
Following a trial, Jessica was found not guilty of murder.
Insanity.
Instead found guilty of manslaughter on the basis of substantial impairment due to her multiple disorders.
Yeah.
On the 12th of March 2021, almost 2 years after decapitating her mother, Jessica was sentenced to 21 years and 7 months with a non-parole period of 16 years and 2 months, meaning she would become eligible for parole in September 2035. Jessica then applied to appeal her sentence and was subsequently reviewed by several other psychiatrists, one of which being Professor Greenberg, who described her as childlike and naive in manner and said she had obviously poor self-esteem and was insecure as a person. She spoke rapidly, exhibited mild anxiety, and was loquacious, over-inclusive, and circumstantial in her thoughts.
And psychotic.
Professor Greenberg stated that Jessica reiterated details of her mother's killing in a concrete, matter-of-fact manner and tone without any emotion or any emotional remorse.
Oh.
During the interview, Jessica said that she wanted her mother to suffer. Jessica wanted to suffer because she had killed her mother, but Professor Greenberg noted that there was no evidence of any emotional component to this statement.
So she just said it to try and get off.
Yeah, she was just saying what they thought she wanted to hear. Professor Greenberg reported that Jessica denied that she experienced auditory or visual hallucinations, paranoia, grandiosity, delusions, and disorder of thought control during the offence. So basically, she was like, "No, I was fully sane when I did it."
Oh, I would have been like, "Shut the fuck up, Jessica. Just say you heard voices."
And Professor Greenberg's opinion, was that Jessica did not have a psychotic disorder, psychotic symptoms, or major mood disorder at the time of the offence.
Oh.
He noted that disease of the mind was a legal rather than a medical concept, and that an intellectual disability would be uncommon to qualify for a mental illness defence. He spoke of her numerous comorbid psychiatric disorders, but stated that it did not support a defence of mental illness based on her suffering from an intellectual disability and autism spectrum disorder.
But like 23 other psychiatrists has been like, she got this, she got that, this is fucking her up.
Yeah, well, it is fucking her up, but this person is saying she wasn't psychotic and therefore that doesn't count as diminished responsibility.
Oh, okay.
That's what Professor Greenberg's trying to say.
Yeah.
Like, yes, she
Has
does
symptoms.
have all of these things, but disease of the mind is a legal term, and an intellectual disability and autism don't count as disease of the mind.
Jesus Christ.
The judge didn't agree, though.
Wow.
'Cause she successfully appealed her sentence in May of 2023
Oh, fuck.
and was resentenced to a maximum term of 16 years and 6 months with a non-parole period of 12 years, beginning from the date of the incident, meaning that she would become eligible for parole in July 2031.
Still quite soon. And she was young, so she'd still be like maths.
Oh, she'll still be young. Jessica reportedly struggles with the death of her mother and being abandoned by her remaining family,
Gee, I wonder why.
and is often teased by other inmates at Silverwater
Aw.
Prison where she's held.
Isn't Catherine Knight there?
I think so.
Oh, maybe they're buddies.
Whilst in custody, she's been involved in several incidents where she has attacked fellow inmates and even 2 prison officers.
Jessica.
In August 2021, Jessica reportedly rushed at an officer, slipping through the closing cell door.
Oh.
And when ordered to get back inside her cell, she reached out and grabbed the officer's hair and pulled,
Oh my God.
causing a large amount of hair to be pulled from the roots. Jessica later stated that it was only a little bit of hair, like just a few strands.
Wasn't that bad. God.
She later told police, "I don't like that guard, so I just wanted to give them a little bit of taste of their own medicine."
Oh my God. He said, fuck that bitch.
Yeah.
I don't like her.
The second assault occurred in October 2021. Jessica was in the prison yard and refused to put her hands through the hatch to be handcuffed.
Oh, yep.
When the staff entered the yard to restrain her, she reached out and grabbed a handful of a second officer's hair and pulled it.
Oh my God.
She didn't let go until she was restrained by several other officers and again caused a chunk of hair to fall from her head. Both officers have been left with bald patches on their scalps.
Oh no.
Like, there are photos of, we can put them on the Instagram, like bald chunks out
it
of
would
their
take
head.
ages to grow back. Just like one chunk. She likes hair pulling, doesn't she?
Yeah, that's one of her things. After these 2 significant assaults, Jessica had 22 months added to her sentence, with 12 months added to her non-parole period, meaning that she would now be eligible for parole in July 2032.
Jesus.
So
It feels like years away, but
it's
like
8
not
years.
that long.
It's not that far. It's 8 years away.
Jesus.
And yeah, that's the story of Jessica Camilleri.
I need to look her up now and see what she looks like.
She pretty fucked up.
Jessica.
She has if you look her up, her face is like, she looks like a psycho.
Yeah. Oh.
Like, yeah, she was bullied as a kid and that's awful. And yeah, she's got some fucked up disorders. But like, so do a lot of people.
Yeah, and they don't go around.
Decapitating their mother
Yeah.
and their fiercest protector.
Oh God, yeah.
I have many thoughts on her. Yeah. That's one of the officers' hair, and then the other one has got another. And one of the officers is for religious purposes can't cut their hair.
Oh.
And has really struggled and obviously
Yeah.
has PTSD from the incident.
Well,
but
yeah.
but also it's affected her relationship with her religion because
Oh.
not supposed to cut her hair,
Yeah.
but half her hair's been fucking ripped out of her
Ripped
head.
Jesus
And
Christ.
now she's struggling internally with like feeling like she's
done something wrong.
in the eyes of her religion, and she, it's kind of fractured the relationship with her religion because that choice was taken away from her by someone.
Jesus Christ, Jessica, you just fucking up people's lives.
Yeah. But no, she gets bullied in prison, so that's really sad.
You decapitated your mother.
And she really struggles with the fact that her mum died because her mum's the only one that helped her.
Oh, it's like...
Babe, she didn't die. You fucking murdered the shit out of her.
Yeah, it's like it's hard to... I don't know. You feel sorry for her, but it's like also you killed your mum. Like, and have said you weren't in like a... psychotic state when you did it?
Yeah, apparently.
I feel like you'd have to be in a psychotic state to kill your mum.
I feel like it's behaviour-wise. Like, she just didn't want to get off the phone and her mum wanted to send her to hospital and she was like, fuck off, I'm not going to hospital. Stab.
One more stab is a federal crime.
Stabby, stab. I'm pretty sure any stab is a federal crime.
Well, yeah.
But anyway.
That's fucked.
Yeah.
I remember her face though, looking it up.
Yeah.
But Jesus Christ, didn't know all that.
Yeah.
I'm just glad the child didn't die. I was waiting the whole time, and as soon as you were like, oh, they went to the hospital, I was like, oh God, she's been left alone with the child.
I didn't put it in there, but like the victim impact statements that were read by child A in the court was like,
oh,
I didn't put it in there because it was heartbreaking and also kind of like not relevant to the story itself, and it would just be like traumatizing this poor child. Leave this poor child alone.
Yeah, he didn't want
but he was fucking 4 years old and watched potentially his grandmother be stabbed to death.
Have no eyeballs.
By his auntie.
If it is. We're assuming it's the grandson.
Well, a family member.
Yeah, family member.
A family member stab and kill another family member.
Oh, no.
That poor kid's going to be fucked for life.
Or maybe he'll just...
block it out.
Push it down.
Block
it out. That's what we do with feelings.
That is what we do with feelings. Bury them.
Oh, we make jokey about them.
Lots of jokey. Or we just jump on a podcast and do this shit.
Yeah, exactly. It's therapeutic.
Yeah.
But yeah, fucking hell.
Yeah. Well, that's the case of Jessica Camilleri. Old stabby.
Old stabby decapitated.
Yeah.
That's fucked. It's very weird how many bits there were to like Ed Gein.
Yeah.
And then she like
I actually completely forgot about that, but I've been working on this case for months.
Oh, well, it's nice that it lined up.
Yeah,
and we're just saying, what episode should we do next? And yeah, the last one that went out was Ed Gein.
Yeah. Well,
crazy. That's fucked.
Yeah.
The eyeballs, I don't know why eyeballs get me.
Well, eyeballs definitely should stay inside your face.
Yeah. There was, our neighbour told us about her, this is about eyeballs. Our neighbour was saying her nephew, I think, he was in the garage and there was like a what is it? I think like a potato gun or something. And he looked into it and there was a golf ball and he shot it and it shot straight into his eye and he had to go to the hospital. I don't know. I can't remember the rest of the story, but
that's
got
insane.
a golf ball to the eye.
Anyway.
I can't do eyeballs. They just fucking... And then I feel like anytime I think of people removing eyeballs, I just think, did they use a spoon? Like, she was in the kitchen. Do you think she just got a spoon and...
I reckon she just used her fucking fingers and just popped them out.
Oh, no. Well, yeah, if she twisted her head around, she wouldn't be...
She wouldn't be opposed to getting her hands dirty.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. And then walking around with the mum's head. Imagine being a neighbour.
Yeah.
And then seeing your crazy neighbour walking around with her mum's head.
You crazy cuckoo girl.
Oh, my God. That's a lot. Oh, there's a pretty little bird outside. She calls like ADHD detectives. Oh, squirrel.
Change our name.
But yeah, thank you for listening. What's this, our 11th episode?
It is.
We're
Look
getting
at us
there.
go.
Getting there. Oh, there's a tradie. Hello, sir. Do you hear any noise? We're
so bad at
tradies around.
So bad at.
But yeah, we'll catch you next week when we go to... I can't remember where it is. America.
Probably.
Back to America.
That's where we like to flip-flop to and from.
Yeah, yep. America, Australia, America. I think my next two are in America. Yeah, my next two are in America. So we'll be in America for a while. So we'll see you there.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening.
listen to us again.
Listen, y'all come back now.
Come back now, you hear?
Thank
Y'all
you.
come back now, you hear? That's going to be playing on loop in my brain now. Fuck. Y'all come back now, you hear?
What is that from? And then I was thinking of a poo from The Simpsons, but he's not.
Thank you.
Southern.
Come again.
Yeah. Y'all no, I can't remember.
Y'all come back now, you hear?
It's probably in a million things.
It probably.
Yes. All right. Well, we'll catch you next week.
Bye.
Okay, bye. Oh, the bird's eating something.